This Sunday, we celebrate the confession of St. Peter. And all our readings revolve around one simple but weighty truth, that faith is confessed by the believer, but it's given by Christ. In Psalm 118, God's people come through the gates, and they're celebrating what the Lord has done. And right at the center of that song is the refrain that we hear repeated over and over again. The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. See, the foundation of God's people isn't chosen by the builders, it's set by the Lord. And that same stone stands before us in Acts 4 as Peter, the one who denied Jesus, now speaks boldly before the same authorities who had Jesus crucified. And notice how simple his confession is. He doesn't stand up there arguing or defending himself. He just names Jesus Christ and says that there's no salvation in anyone else. And Luke tells us the reason for this boldness. They recognized that he had been with Jesus. So his confession flows from Christ's work, not Peter's strength. Peter himself would reflect on this later in our readings from 2 Peter. He writes to believers that he's obtained a faith through God's divine power. God's already granted him everything he needs for life and godliness. See, but before Peter ever calls believers to grow or make effort, he anchors them in what they've been given. Faith rests securely in God's promise. And then that brings us to the gospel. In Mark 8, Peter confesses to Jesus that you are the Christ. Even though Peter doesn't understand the cross, he testifies to the faith which was placed in his heart. And that matters. See, it shows us that the strength of our confession, it doesn't depend on the perfection of the confessor. It depends on who Jesus is. So this Sunday, as we celebrate the confession of St. Peter, we're not celebrating a heroic disciple or someone who displayed model behavior. We're confessing the same Christ, the rejected stone who's become the cornerstone. All we have is our confession of him. And even that confession is a gift spoken by faith that Christ himself has given to you and to me.